My mission today is to just do a one-day hike. It's about a 10-hour hike. I got to still go over another ridge and then go all the way down a big crevice. It's real narrow and gets kind of scary. I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday.
What if the person you watched on your screen last night was suddenly gone forever? No final video, no goodbye, just a completely blank channel. Today, we are diving into the deeply unsettling true stories of creators who shared their lives online only to vanish without a trace. Our first story takes us deep into the quiet, burning heat of the Nevada desert. Back in 2014, a 47-year-old man named Kenny Veach was running a small YouTube channel called snakebitmgee. Kenny was a highly experienced hiker. He loved going on solo trips, exploring the harsh, empty landscapes of the desert near Nellis Air Force Base. He was tough, he knew how to survive, and he was not the type of person to get easily spooked. But everything changed when Kenny left a comment on a YouTube video. He claimed that during one of his hikes, he discovered a strange, hidden cave. But this was not just any cave. The entrance was shaped like a giant letter M. Kenny wrote that as he started to approach the cave, something bizarre happened. His entire body began to vibrate. He was hit with an intense, overwhelming feeling of dread that seemed to come out of nowhere. It was a sensation so terrifying, so deeply wrong, that his instincts kicked in and he literally ran away. Now, how would you feel if you read a comment like that online? Naturally, his viewers were completely hooked. They wanted to see it. They started leaving comments, begging Kenny to go back, find the M-shaped cave again, and document it on camera. Kenny wanted to deliver for his growing audience, so he agreed. He packed his gear, took his camera, and set out on a solo hike. And that was the last time anyone ever saw Kenny Veach. He vanished completely during that hike. When he did not return, search and rescue teams scrambled. They spent days combing through the unforgiving desert, looking for any sign of life. But the desert is vast, and it does not leave many clues. After a massive search, they only found one single item: Kenny's cell phone. Strangely, it was lying right near the opening of an abandoned vertical mine shaft. Did he fall down the shaft? Was he attacked by wild animals? Or did something far more sinister happen, especially since he was hiking so close to a restricted military base? People online started coming up with wild theories about secret government cover-ups. But years later, Kenny's girlfriend left a heartbreaking comment on his channel. She stated that Kenny had been going through a very difficult time, and she believed he chose to go out into the desert to end his own life. To this day, Kenny has never been found, and the secret of the M-shaped cave remains lost in the sand. It is a chilling thought, isn't it? A creator walking out into the empty wild, never to return. But while Kenny went missing in the quiet solitude of the desert, our next creator disappeared while documenting her journey for the entire world to see. This is the highly publicized, tragic story of Gabby Petito. In 2021, 22-year-old Gabby was a bright, aspiring travel vlogger. She wanted to share her passion for adventure with the world, so she and her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, launched a channel called Nomadic Static. They bought a white transit van, packed up their lives, and set off on a dream cross-country van life journey. To their viewers, they seemed like the perfect young couple, completely in love, experiencing the ultimate freedom of the open road. But behind the beautiful sun-drenched video edits, a dark reality was unfolding. In August 2021, while the couple was traveling through the rugged landscapes of Wyoming, Gabby suddenly stopped contacting her family. The regular texts and calls just stopped. She was gone. Honestly, the red flags started flying immediately. But the biggest shock came when Brian Laundrie drove Gabby's van all the way back to his parents' home in Florida. He was completely alone. Even worse, he hired a lawyer and absolutely refused to speak to Gabby's desperate family or the police. The internet exploded. A massive nationwide search began, with millions of people analyzing their old vlogs, trying to find any clue that could explain where Gabby was. The horrifying truth came to light in September 2021. Search teams discovered Gabby's remains hidden in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming. An autopsy confirmed she had been murdered, with the cause of death ruled as homicide by strangulation. Shortly after, Brian Laundrie went missing himself. Following a massive manhunt, his body was found in a Florida swamp, dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Next to him was a notebook containing a final, chilling confession. He was the one who had taken Gabby's life. It was a tragic, heartbreaking reminder that sometimes the most dangerous thing on a journey isn't the wilderness, it is the person sitting right next to you. But what happens when a creator travels to the other side of the world to build a peaceful, quiet life, only for real-world violence to break down their front door?
As long as I'm here, my life is still at risk, It's still at risk, that's a reality. My life is at risk a little bit here, for sure. Especially the area that I'm in, it's not even just the Philippines. It's like, this area that I'm in is like the most dangerous area, one of the most dangerous areas in the Philippines, It's literally like the red zone.
That brings us to Elliot Eastman. In October 2024, 26-year-old Elliot was an American travel vlogger who had moved to the Philippines. He was living in a quiet coastal municipality called Sibuco, documenting his daily life, his adventures, and his marriage to a local woman. He wanted to show his audience what it was really like to integrate into a completely different culture, away from the typical tourist spots. But on the night of October 17th, his peaceful life turned into an absolute nightmare. While he was relaxing at his home, 4 armed men burst in. Elliot tried to fight back and defend himself, but he was shot in the leg. The men forcefully dragged him out of his house, loaded his bleeding body into a motorized boat, and sped off into the dark, open waters of the Sulu Sea.
Can you even imagine the sheer panic of that moment? A massive joint military and police operation was launched immediately. Everyone was praying for a miracle. For weeks, his viewers waited anxiously for any good news. By December 2024, the police had arrested several suspects, and violent clashes with the kidnappers had left 3 persons of interest dead. But the ending was tragic. Philippine authorities officially concluded that Elliot had succumbed to his gunshot wounds on the very night of the kidnapping, and his captors had disposed of his body at sea. He was never brought home, leaving behind a community of viewers in complete shock.
It is incredibly scary how fast a life of travel and joy can be cut short by real-world dangers. Yet, physical threats in the wilderness or from criminals are not the only dangers creators face. Sometimes, the heaviest battle is the one happening inside a creator's own mind, played out live in front of millions of fans who are watching every single second. This leads us to the heartbreaking story of Desmond Amafa, known to the gaming world as Etika. Etika was one of the most beloved, high-energy streamers on the internet. His fans absolutely adored him for his wild, hilarious reactions, his bright personality, and his deep connection to his community. But behind the loud laughs and constant smiles, Desmond was fighting a silent, agonizing war with severe mental health crises. Over several months, his behavior became increasingly erratic, leading to public breakdowns and hospitalizations. Then, in June 2019, things hit a tragic breaking point. Desmond uploaded a deeply concerning video titled, "I'm Sorry." In the video, he spoke directly to his fans with a chilling sense of finality, apologizing for his struggles and for pushing people away. Immediately after the video went live, he went completely missing in the busy streets of New York City.
His community instantly panicked. The NYPD launched a frantic, multi-day search, hoping against hope that he was safe. But the tension broke in the worst way possible. His backpack and personal belongings were found completely abandoned on the Manhattan Bridge. A few days later, the tragic news hit. His body was recovered from the East River, and his death was officially ruled a suicide.
It shook the entire gaming community to its core, leaving a permanent scar on everyone who had watched him stream. All of these stories remind us that the real lives of the people behind the screen are fragile. They face real threats, real pain, and sometimes tragic endings that we never see coming. But speaking of real-world threats that walk among us, some stories are almost too dark to believe. If you think these disappearances are terrifying, wait until you hear about what happens when the danger starts at a much younger age. Click on the video on your screen right now, because we are diving straight into the mind-blowing, chilling story of the most dangerous kid in the world. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. See you there!